When the church first started, some friends literally came around me and just said, okay, here's the situation. We have to capture these teachings. This people are coming to hear this, and we have to figure out some way to capture it. And I said, well, we have a cassette ministry. This is the new thing. And they're like, no. Seriously, we have to. And we knew it would probably be something visual, because there's very much of a visual dimension. And so the church literally turned a group of people loose and said, go start something totally separate where you can just pursue what this might look like and then do it. So we started a completely separate creative organization. And Renee, who's here today, was in on the ground floor of that, and eventually kind of like, let's try making there's this one teaching I'd done about my son and I in a storm and a walk we took, and so that kind of one kept circling around, like, let's start there. So it was storyboarded, and then eventually brought together some film people in the industry in our area, and shot this, convinced some people, could you maybe pitch in some money, because it's going to be really expensive to make something like this, and then made it. And people started seeing it, going, okay, you got to make more. And so that's kind of how, and essentially, what started as let's just capture these teachings became, well, this is like a whole new format. I mean, this is a way, and as we all know, and we're moments now from your cell phone being able to have clips on it, and then it quickly morphed into an intentional, when the whole world is looking at stuff on their cell phone, we want to already have created a library so that the church is not left in the dust, racing to keep up with very poor quality imitations, but we want to have created something that's worthy of the message that's already there. So it kind of traveled that spectrum quite quickly.
Well, it is tremendously high quality and has made a real impact in the UK as well. By word of mouth and by publicity and by all sorts of other means, lots of churches are using it. In my own church on Easter Sunday not the past Easter, the one before, I used the luggage instead of a formal sermon as such, and then just invited people to respond off the back of that. And there was a very powerful response to that. And interestingly, all ages as well. Is that your reflection? Because some people might look at that and think, well, that's very trendy, that's cool, that's obviously geared for student age 20-somethings, but have you had feedback from all ages, or do you
first off, it's not geared towards any, we don't have any, hey, what do the kids like? We make films that move us about what we're learning and what challenges us and what's transforming us. And I would say the Noomas are in many ways reflective of Mars Hill. There's no rhyme or reason. It just kind of, some people say, like, what's your demographic or target? And we would generally respond, people. For us, this is rooted, I'm glad you like that. For us, this is rooted in a very deep sense of conviction theologically that some things are true, period. Yeah. And that oftentimes what happens is it stays up at the surface level of, well, these people like this, and these people kind of this caters, and these people have these preferences, and people have these stylistic differences. But for us, the issue is what's true, what's always been true, what is true, and what will always be. The parable of the prodigal son is true, period. That's why we're still talking about it. Sure. And at the center of Jesus' teachings, they cut across culture and age and whatever stylistic preference. And deep at the heart of Nooma is, and like with luggage, it's true of humanity. So these aren't just Christian issues. These aren't just age or specific issues. For us, it's true of what it means to be human. And so that drives much of what we do.